Today we're going to talk about peanut immunotherapy, and this is a really hot topic because immunotherapy is, in the general public, it's kind of seen as that cure to peanut allergy, and it's not. So today I'm going to tell you why and hopefully get you a bit more informed about whether this is for you or not. So peanut oral immunotherapy is not a cure. The point of it is to make your child a bit more tolerant than they were to start with. So what we're aiming for really is that if your child had some accidental exposure to peanut, that it wouldn't have a catastrophic effect. Yes, they might still have an allergic reaction, but it won't be as bad as it could have been without the immunotherapy. So that is really what oral immunotherapy is about. And if it's ever marketed or sold to you as a cure, then red flag, because that is not the proper way to talk about immunotherapy, and that isn't what we are aiming for. If your child does grow out of their peanut allergy, or immunotherapy helps them to do that, then that's great. I'm not saying that won't happen, but that isn't the point of it to start with. So what happens is, if your child is diagnosed with a peanut allergy, normally then you would go through your GP, be seen by an allergy specialist, and they will do some skin prick testing. Hopefully that's what they should do, not just a load of blood tests. It should be skin prick testing. And then once they're diagnosed with a peanut allergy, then really, usually the best case scenario is that it's not a particularly severe allergy from the point of view of the consultant. And they say, right, well, with your history, the type of reaction and your child's age and the skin prick test results, so all those parts of the puzzle put together, then maybe we can be looking at doing a food challenge. Now, if your child is under 12 to 18 months and you're in a specific area in Australia, you may be offered onto the ADAPT program, which is a peanut oral immunotherapy program. But there are wait lists, and there isn't always space for children now to get on them because they're obviously very, very full. And although we know that this is a really good way of helping children under 12 to 18 months with peanut allergy, we don't have the money and resources to actually deal with the amount of children that we would hope to be able to help with this. So the government haven't yet given enough money into that specific area. So the hospitals that are doing it are often doing it on top of their normal everyday clinics and everyday food challenges. And there's no extra staff to deal with the ADAPT program, which is a big undertaking, which we'll talk about again in a minute. So if your child's food allergy is more severe, then it may just be avoidance. That's the only way. So they have to just avoid peanut until the next year, when they should be getting further testing, as in skin prick testing, go to see the allergist, giving any more information about accidental exposures or anything like that. And then taking it from there, year on year, the skin tests coming down. Are they deemed safe to maybe go for a food challenge? Maybe not. Maybe your child is never deemed safe to go for a food challenge. And if they're over a certain age, then they might, they won't be able to go on to something like the ADAPT program either. There are private immunologists out there that do OIT, but the ADAPT program at this point is, from a personal point of view, one of the only ones I can speak of at this time, because I've been involved with it in one of the hospitals. So peanut oral immunotherapy is basically given teeny tiny doses of a peanut powder, slowly graded over time, and we would give it every day to build tolerance over months and sometimes years. So it's a very big undertaking. On top of that, there are food challenges, there are hospital appointments. There is a lot of time in the day for parents to have to deal with this every single day. You can't stop. If you stop, there's a chance of resensitization, and then the whole process starts all over again. The other thing that makes this a bit tricky is that there's a window of opportunity around about 12 to 18 months, ideally under 12 months, but sometimes it can be extended to 18 months. But again, it depends on the child, and you don't know that. And sometimes a child's immune system will give you up to 18 months to kind of help grow out something, but it's an unknown, so there's no way to measure that. But anyway, a child under 12 to 18 months has more chance of their immune system growing out of this peanut allergy at that age. So when the younger a child is, the more suggestible the immune system is. So the more we can get these kind of foods in, then the more likely their immune system is going to say, oh, okay, well, that's not so bad. Okay, well, you're suggesting that I should tolerate this peanut, so that's what I'll do. When the child gets older, gets 2, 3, 4 years old, they're less likely to grow out of these food allergies. Their immune system is less likely to be tolerant to those food allergy products. So that's why we do it. That's why the OIT peanut program in Australia at this point is aimed at that younger age group, because we know, like with the Introducing Common Allergy Foods guidelines, we know that that the younger the child is, under 12 months, the more chance they have of growing out of food allergies or being able to stop them in their tracks before they even become a thing. So introducing those foods early tells the immune system, this is okay, this seems to be okay, we can trust this, we're being given it early on, rather than avoiding it till they're 3 and then giving it, and the immune system's like, no, I always knew this was something bad, and now, you're giving it to me now, I'm not having any of it. So what OIT does with peanut is it trains the immune system to tolerate like small to moderate amounts of peanut protein. So it doesn't train them to eat peanut butter smoothies or slathered on sandwiches freely. It might, if you're lucky. But what it does do is it trains the immune system to not have a massive overreaction, and maybe they just get a less severe allergic reaction when they accidentally have peanut, or maybe they have such a small amount that they don't have any reaction, but that smaller amount before the OIT may have caused quite a significant reaction. So that's the point of peanut OIT. So peanut OIT programs specifically target children usually under 12 months. They take significant time from parents, clinicians, hospitals, and yeah, it's a significant undertaking. It uses a carefully controlled protocol, so there is a system behind the ADAPT protocol. It needs ongoing treatment at home. So again, what we actually do at the hospitals is almost try and talk the families out of doing oral immunotherapy. It's like when you get children come into a study. So I was involved in some of the peanut patch trials, and at the beginning you don't want to just recruit everyone, because I know for a fact, having been involved in them, that people drop like flies even very early on from just the first, second or third appointment, because it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of keeping in touch, there's a lot of keeping an eye on symptoms, taking pictures, noting things down, taking time off work, having to take time off school and daycare, doing things at a specific time of day, and doing this for months or sometimes years. So at the very beginning, what we actually try and do, which might sound counterproductive, but in the long run it saves everyone a lot of time, sometimes money, like parking at hospitals, things like that, time off work, but also emotionally it's a lot to do. So we actually try and almost not put them off, but tell parents the brutal truth about what it takes to be involved in not just an OIT program, but any kind of clinical trial, especially when it comes to allergies, because it's a lot. It is a lot. So we have to really go through things and make sure people are 100% in, and they need to really desperately want it and are willing to go to quite lengths to do this, because it is not a walk in the park. So in a nutshell, this is not a magic fix for peanut allergy, but it can save your child's life if they go through peanut OIT and they do it in the proper channels, with a hospital or a specialist, because this shouldn't really be done on your own at home if your child has a diagnosed peanut allergy. So yeah, it's something that can really, really help, but you just need to know the ins and outs of it and what it is and what it's not. So I hope this has been helpful. If your child does have a peanut allergy or they've had a reaction to peanut, especially if they're under 18 months, go and see your GP. Go and see them as soon as you can. Get a referral to a paediatric immunologist. It's really important that there's a paediatric immunologist. Maybe you can get a telehealth if you're not near one. Some large children's hospitals in Australia do actually do outreach clinics. So every couple of months they'll go out to sort of more rural areas. Ask about the ADAPT program. Okay, so it's running in 10 paediatric hospitals around Australia. Quite a few in New South Wales. There's definitely in Victoria, WA, Brisbane, and South Australia. And see if how the land lies and if there's wait lists, and then just find out information. And share this if you know other people who have a child with a peanut allergy, because oral immunotherapy is available. It really has to be done in the correct, safe way. There's a lot of good news stories with oral immunotherapy. There's a lot of frightening stories with oral immunotherapy, and it can be very, very, very expensive if you go out with like the normal routes. But you just need to make sure that it is for you and you do know what you're getting involved with. So it can be life-changing. So please share this video or this podcast, however you're listening. And there's one more thing I want to share with you. Now, there's an app that is becoming available very, very soon, like in the next very short little while. And it's called Raffy Allergy. And what this app is, it's a day-to-day companion for families specifically who are either undertaking oral immunotherapy for any food, or they're at home after a food challenge and they're introducing foods, or they've been told to their specialist, go home and introduce this. They might be on an egg ladder or a milk ladder, and this app is for you. So it's a daily companion for families, and it assists you in notifying, it assists you in keeping a note of how much your child needs. You can write your own protocol inside it. It's very, very simple, very, very easy to use. So you write your protocol in it, which is what your specialist has told you to do and give to your child. Every day it will remind you to give this dose. You then record this dose. You can record reactions, you can record the type of food, you can record when it next needs to be given, you can record all kinds of different things. It also has timers in it, and we're looking for families to be on board to help test this app and let us know what else you need in the app, what you find useful, how you're using it, and we want you to be a front and center of building this app. With that, you get free admission into the Nest Food Allergy membership for the first month, where you get complete help and support 6 days a week from me for anything allergy related. So have a look in the comments below and have a listen to this, have a read if you're looking on the blog, and let us know if you want to be involved with the Raffy app. The link to join our list for the Raffy app is in the comments below. If you're on YouTube, it's in the caption. If you're listening on podcast, it's in the caption too. And if you're here on Instagram, then check the link in my bio.